And if you think, do you think if you're successful at doing it, that Italy will be able to qualify for the next Soccer World Cup?
I cannot understand your. It's something go wrong.
I'm sure that was a big shock for Italy not to qualify. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the Sports Dentistry podcast this week, Flavia Del Grosso. Welcome, Flavia. Ciao.
Hi. Ciao. Nice to meet you again.
So this is your second appearance on the podcast. The first one was in Dusseldorf at the European Association for Sports Dentistry. And we spoke back then about how there was going to be a conference in Naples in June, and it felt so far away whenever we were speaking in Germany. But now we're here 2 weeks out, and it's just around the corner. I think we'll start off. It's always good to start off with our guests. I know we've had the pleasure to know you quite well, but just for any of our listeners that don't know you as well, can you give us a little bit of a background? How did you get into dentistry, and then how did that progress into sports dentistry?
Okay, so not so far between Dusseldorf to now, because it's just 6 months, I think, 6 months ago. And in Naples, we have a big conference from Italy, but also with international, because we have a closed meeting from European. And the particularity of this conference, there are different people and different job. There are not so just dentists, but a lot of different doctor, not just sport doctor, but otorino, doctor from the eye, and physiotherapist, osteopathic people, and there are different people. So this is, I think, is the best for sport dentistry, because work with a team. This is what we try to do from the beginning, I think, because I think the problem of sport dentistry is no one knows us, and no one want to work with us because they don't know exactly what we do. And so have a conference with different figure, different work and job all together, and all the presentation are made by different figure from different job, working all together. And I think this is the future of sport dentistry. This is the way we have to continue.
And when did you first get into dentistry? Why did you decide to become a dentist?
Why I become a dentist? Yeah. I forget it. I don't know. I work with in a clinic in a summer time. Before I'm a swimming coach, so I was just a swimming coach. But during the summer, I work as a nurse in a clinic when I was at the college, and I decide I want to become a dentist, and just on. And then when I study at the university, I still work like a swimming instructor, a swimming coach. I look to my athletes and I think about my future job, and I say, oh, it's something can connect, and I want to study it. And so I become a sport dentist. But my teacher, my prof in the university, tell me it's just an excuse to spend more time in the swimming pool. And so it's okay, spend time in the swimming pool, but then I have to study and spend time in the clinic. And I still say, no, it's something we have very close, something we have to study because it's important, like dentist. study about the teeth of the athletes. And after some years, a lot of years, I I meet you and I meet other people, and they tell me, "Oh, it's real what you think about." A lot of years ago, and okay, nice. I think about it some when I was in the university, and now it's become real.
Yeah, so what were your first steps when you decided that you wanted to try to do something with sports dentistry? You obviously were working as a dentist, and then you decided, well, like many of us do, how can we put the two together? How did you go about it where you were? Like, who did you reach out to? Who did you speak to? How were you able to get involved with sports dentistry locally?
I just look at my athletes and I see something not go in the right direction. Because when I study at university, I look for the occlusion, how to develop the occlusion, and they have to go in one direction. And then I look at my athletes in the swimming pool and I see something different, but something different going all in the same direction. And so I start to investigate to my athletes and to the athletes of my colleague. And I start to make research in this field. And then I speak with my with my teacher in the university, that I show their results, and they still say, no, it's nothing. But then I still investigate, I still research with my athletes. And at the end, I remember was in Paris, I think. I saw the first conference of the European sport dentistry in Paris, and finally I find someone think what I have just to study. So it's just I don't know how, but something happens when have to happen.
And what were you seeing in your swimmers? Like what you said you saw things that were going in the right direction. What can you just elaborate on that a little bit? What was it that you were noticing?
Yes, I noticed that in the swimmer may crawl have an asymmetry. All have a cross bite, and all have a black teeth for the. Then I discover is for the chlorine and for other problem. But at the beginning, I just look at the teeth and I see white spot, black spot, and asymmetry and cross bite, and was not normal. And then I look at the butterfly swimmer, and like Michael Phelps have an open bite. And they say, yes, it's good to have an open bite for a butterfly swimmer. And I cannot do with my athletes because I want to open a bite for my athletes, but they tell me it's not so good for ethics. And so...
So I'm quite interested.
I just look an open bite and not correct and say, okay, you have to make a butterfly swimmer.
I'm quite interested because you mentioned there about the chlorine, and there's a lot of debate on whether the chlorine increases tooth erosion. And I know we did some screening with the GB swimmers on the lead up to the Paris Olympic Games a few years ago. And we didn't really notice a lot of erosion. From your experience, obviously you've spent a lot of time in the pool and a lot of time with athletes and with your dentistry experience. What is your view on the impact of chlorine on the oral cavity?
Okay, no, the problem is not the chlorine. It's just how is treated the swimming pool. Really, I cannot tell about this because I not published this data because it could be a problem for the federation and for the swimmer, but I don't care about it. And so I tell you, there are a lot of swimmers have a lot of white spots or erosion or decay because the swimming pool where they train is not to have a very good treatment. But where the athletes training in a swimming pool, very controlled, very treat very well, they have not the white spot and erosion. So the problem is the environment where they're training. So if the swimming pool is good and is treated very well, the water is treated very well, there is no problem. But where the treatment is not very, very, very good, there are a lot of problems.
And what would determine that? Like, is it just the protocols of the swimming pool? Is it the knowledge of the staff? What makes the difference between good water quality in terms of for the World Health and poor water quality in terms of World Health?
Yeah, theoretically, there are the parameter all the swimming pool have to respect, because the control for the swimming pool, the gymnasium, and all the space where people training, they have to control the water, the air, and so on. But sometimes the boss not control or have to control a little bit this parameter, and so this is the problem. But if I tell you this, they close the swimming pools.
Yeah.
But I not tell about which swimming pool I find in Italy not controlled very well, so it's okay.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, if we notice swimmers with bad erosion, then we know that swimming pool is not somewhere to swim.
Yeah, because I'm also a lifeguard, so I can control also the water. And so I make the control of the water before, and then I look at the athletes. And I notice when the parameters are not so good, I find athletes with more problem.
Where did this passion for swimming come from? Did you always swim? Did you swim when you were young? Where did this passion for swimming come from?
I love the sport in general. I make all kind of sport. I can do it. I can do it in the past. But when I was young, I practiced artistic swimming for a long time. And so I have, from this time, I think I developed a love from the water sport in general. And then I become a swimming instructor, artistic swimming instructor, and then I follow with the career in a swimming coach, Paralympic swimming coach, and so on. But
yeah, I think one of the most ferocious sports I've watched is water polo.
Water polo, yeah, it's very nice. Water polo,
yeah. When they're playing, it's just arms and elbows everywhere. Very dangerous sport. So
yeah,
mixing water and polo, I'm just like, no thanks. I'll just sit by the side of the pool. That's fine.
But it's very complete sport, and yes, it's a little bit dangerous, but rugby
I know, I know. I was just saying, just because I find if you're in water, you obviously need to be a good swimmer, and that's why we're teaching my daughter we're taking her every week to make sure that when we go on holiday, she can go and play in the pool, and it's a very good life skill to have, swimming. But when people are throwing elbows and punching you in the face, I'd just rather stay back. So I'd rather not get involved with that. So how are things in Italy just now? We've obviously got the conference coming up in a few weeks, which we'll touch on soon. But your colleagues and other sports dentists in Italy, is that something that's growing? Have you seen that grow over the years? Who are the other people that you work with on the ground there? Is it something that people who are listening to this who are in Italy are quite keen to get involved in? What would they need to do to try and get involved with the setup there at the moment?
I think sport dentistry involved, but not so much involved in the way there are more people, more dentistry want to treat athletes. But think about sport dentistry is just a mouth guard, but we know it's not just a mouth guard. So there are more people, more dentists interest in sport dentistry, but really not developed so much this specialization. I think me and my group, Alberto, Piero, and Pietro, and we grow, but now I think we are in a way of status. We're still in the same point because we have, I don't know, we have a lot less idea. We have not so much to develop more. I think we reach the best we can do now, and so I think it's not growing a lot in this period.
And what does that look like? So when you talk about growth, is that growth as in more dentists getting involved in sports dentistry, or is that in more sports and teams and athletes having a sports dentist? How do you define growth?
Growth in terms of news in sport dentistry. Like in the past, every year we change our way to work. We develop a new protocol, develop a new way of study athletes and treat athletes. But now I think in the last 1 or 2 years, we make the same things every day when we treat athletes. About athletes, they think, yes, probably some athletes come to our clinic and ask about sport dentist, but federation not is still away. Yes, doctor have more power of dentistry.
And is there certain sports that are more open to working with a sports dentist? Like football is very big in Italy, and that's where we have found in the UK sports dentists have been able to help out with pre-season screenings and things like that. How is that in Italy? Is there particular sports that are open to sports dentistry? Or as you said, when you were talking about the people that are coming to the conference, does it depend on them relationships with the sports medics and the other sport medical professionals? In sports dentistry, it's not just about treating injuries. It's about optimizing oral health for peak performance.
That's right, because when athletes push their limits, every detail matters, even their oral health.
That's why the Sports Dentistry podcast is being powered by Philips, true innovators in oral health technology.
Philips Sonicare toothbrushes use advanced sonic technology to disrupt plaque biofilm, removing up to 20 times more plaque than a manual brush.
And that's critical for athletes. With high carb diets, dry mouth, and frequent energy supplements, there are greater risk of caries and gum disease.
Philips backs evidence-based dentistry, giving us tools that fit perfectly into performance-driven treatment plans.
So whether you're helping your athletes recover, protect, or perform,
elevate your protocol with Philips.
I think probably bike and cyclism have more interest in sport dentist in Italy, but other society, other federation, not. It's just to know if you know someone working it and for can give you some athletes, but not the federation. So it's not common for the it's not useful for the federation to give athletes to sport dentists. Just I think in cyclism and in bike there is an interest in it. Last year I was called from the Giro d'Italia, the race around Italy, to follow una tappa. I don't know how it's English. It's a little part of the race, like a sport dentist.
Yeah.
Look for, and every part, every day, every 2 days, change the dentist.
Okay. And is that for people with toothaches, emergencies, or in the event that there's maybe a crash in the bike and there might be some dental trauma? What was or was it just that they saw that we can offer all these things and it'd be good to have a dentist. Was there a reason why they wanted a sports dentist involved?
Yes, it's more for trauma, for injuries, and for the accident. But also there was one sport dentist in Italy follow the all the Italy team. Yes,
Oh, very
and
good.
he need a clinic around Italy if they need something for the athletes. So it's both.
Yeah, so cycling's actually, it's a conversation we've had a number of times over the last year about cyclists, particularly due to the high amount of carbohydrates that they take. And we've had presentations from sports nutritionists that say that they encourage that cyclists will take a carbohydrate gel every 20 minutes when they're racing. Have you noticed that in Italy, where there's maybe a little bit more conscious about um, the overall health of the cyclist due to their nutrition?
No, no, I not
No.
notice it. In Italy, they have very good well, doctor, doctor of nutrition follow the athletes, the cyclists, and they have no problem for the teeth
Okay.
because they have
And
not a lot of, they not eat a lot of snack, they don't eat a lot of energy drink, but they drink a lot of water, just water, and pasta and yes, vegetable and fruits. And so a lot of cyclists have not a big problem with the teeth, and this
Okay.
is nice, I think.
Yeah.
you'd mentioned before that the federations or other federations haven't really got involved or asked you to get involved. Have you approached them and offered your services to them and they've just said, no, we don't want to be involved? Or how is that something? Because obviously the cycling and the swimming, you're involved with them. They've actually reached out and they've wanted you to get involved. But with the other federations such as soccer or rugby, hockey or anything like that, have you actually approached those federations and said, look, we're willing to help?
It's very difficult to approach to the federation, but I try to approach some federation because I work in some federation. I work in FIPM, for example, in Pentathlon Moderno. I work with Finn, the swimmer, but they tell, oh yes, it's nice, yes, it could be, but at the end never give me the athletes. So they tell it could be something interest, but at the end the coach decide and the doctor decide. And if coach and doctor decide is not interest, it is not interest for the federation. And I'm also a coach, but I don't know why I'm not a dentist of my athletes.
But that's what we talk about, isn't it? We say that the only way we're going to get our foot in the door is having the medics and the physiotherapists and the nutritionists getting us involved, and very lucky here that is the case. So how could we, as a sports dentistry family, how can we grab their attention and say, look, you really need us involved? What would we have to do, or what would be the best approach to try and get these medics to actually stand up and say, actually, we really need you guys to come and help? If you had a magic wand, what would you do? Like, what would you do to get you in their foot in the door?
I don't know. I try everything in this last year, but I don't know. I think I have just to wait and something happen. Because I have no idea. I try everything, but all the idea I try, but never change. So, like, was the first time I studied the sport dentistry when I was at the university. As after, I don't know how, 10 years, no, less than 10 years, 5 or 6 years, I find other people think about like me, and so I evolved my sport dentist. So I just wait and look what's happened. I have no idea, but if you have, please tell me, and I can help you.
Yeah. Yeah, you do find that sometimes it takes a bad dental trauma or a bad incident, somebody maybe having a toothache at the wrong time, the night of a competition or during competition, before people start to think about, we should get a sports dentist involved, which is disappointing, but it does sometimes take that. But I suppose when you're going from a coach, if you put your coach's hat on, because we spoke earlier, you're coaching this week and that you're very focused this week on coaching, you can understand how they have so many things to do and to prepare and to organize that is maybe difficult for them to see or have the mind space to think that we need to introduce sports dentistry.
Yes, but I think nutrition, I think psychologist, mental coach, and I have the same problem we have before, and they reach to enter into the federation. So I think we have to change something, but I don't know, because I think 20 years ago or 15 years ago in the federation are just doctor and coach. And now they have physiotherapy, osteopathy, nutrition, mental coach, and so on. But not sport dentist, not dentist, because it's not necessary, As dentist is not necessary. It's just people put something in the tooth. It's not important.
Yeah.
I think we have to change this way of think.
Teeth are optional. You know what
Yeah. You don't need to eat. You don't need to breathe. You don't need to kiss.
Yeah.
It's not necessary also to smile. It's not useful.
I just find that remarkable. The nation like Italy, who, they've won soccer World Cups. They're obviously very good at so many different sports, and it's such a proud sporting nation that they don't see that value. I mean, we've talked about that quite a few times, and having that value of the other medics and seeing that actually we want to try and improve our team, and we want to look at the 1%ers and how that's going to, how it's going to improve the athletes, and your passion for that as well. It's a bit of a shame that they're not really open to that idea. But the good thing is you've got a conference in a few weeks' time, which John's going to, and he's rubbed it in that he's going to Naples and he's going to have some good time with you there, Flavia. So can you just talk us through what's happening and what the plan is for those few days?
What's happened in the plan or Naples? No.
What's happening in Naples in a few weeks? What's the schedule?
Lots of red wine, pizza.
Yeah, no, we have on Saturday, on Friday, we have a workshop with occlusens, with I think the electromyography, and with Norsan. We had a lot of workshop for specific things, and for sure we have a closed meeting European. And on Saturday we have the meeting, the conference, and all the team present research make together. So we have a psychologist working with dentists and doctor. We have a nutrition, have a presentation with a dentist for sure, and a physiotherapist, and all the conference or the presentation are made from 2 or 3 people work together and have work together. And after that, just pizza, cerveza, beer, birra, pizza, and wine. Yes.
But I think the important question is the conference going to be in Italian or is it going to be in English? Because John still won't understand either, but is it in Italian or is it in English?
Nah, the conference is in Italian, but we have a simultaneous translation.
Very good.
So I know Peter is presenting at the conference.
Italian. Peter presents in Italian.
No, he's not in Italian?
No. Peter presents in English. But we have a simultaneous presentation. I know. I remember it. No, if you want, you can present in Italian, in French, how I prefer. But we have a simultaneous translation for every people come. So it's open to to everyone.
Yeah.
I think they have people from Spain, from Georgia, from Romania, from Ukraine, and yes, for sure from Scotland. And
Yeah.
Yes,
To have
yes,
it
yes.
said.
No, I think my colleague from Glasgow, and I think is going. Yeah,
yeah, for
I
Glau,
can't make it
Mike,
because
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Mike said he was going. Yeah. So I'm sure he'll enjoy the aftermath. I'm
He
sure
doesn't have
after
to.
the
You
after the
see, he
conference.
doesn't have to worry about the Glasgow rugby team being in a final because they choked last weekend and didn't make it. So, Mike's rugby team was favourites to make the final, but they lost in the semi final. So it's kind of a trend with Scottish rugby. They sort of like always like look good,
We're
and
always
there's a lot of hype around them, and then they just don't seem to be able to come through.
we're always the bridesmaids, never the bride. That's it. But we're very good bridesmaids, though.
But it shows you there's so much interest. You've mentioned a couple of countries where there's not a lot of sports dentistry already happening, the likes of Romania and Ukraine. I know our colleagues in Georgia have just started it as well. So I think that's where I know we all meet each other through the European Association of Sports Dentistry every 2 years, but that's where the likes of these conferences in between are such a benefit for giving people this opportunity to not only network but also get some more education and learn from each other and see what everybody's doing with their athletes, and is there anything that they can take back with them or improve on to help with the athletes that they're helping with.
I think it's very important. Also, you and me last year, I was in Turkish, you was in South Africa, and it's very important to connect every national congress to continuous also the work we do in European every 2 years, on in USA every years, and I think it's fundamental for us for growth.
Yeah, especially when you speak about how difficult it is for us to get into these federations, how difficult it is for people to see the importance of sports dentistry. The more voices that we have globally singing the same message, hopefully then doors will open a little bit easier for everyone.
Hopefully, we will see. I don't know.
Well, listen, your heart's in the right place, Flavia. You're obviously doing all the right things, and I think we talk about luck as well. And you never know, there might be something that might just open up in the conversation that you might have with somebody, and just how that opens up just something completely different. But I think the infrastructure is there, and you've got your team there as well. So if something does happen, then you'll be well equipped to deal with that next step. It's not like if somebody approached you and said, "Oh, we want you to get involved," and then you're thinking, "Oh, well, how are we going to start and how are we going to do it?" Because you've already expressed there having that global meeting, whether it's with the European Association or whether it's in Turkey that you were last year, South Africa, etc., etc. So you and your colleagues are trying to spread the word, and you're trying to gather information, because when you do get your foot in the door, you'll be in a really nice position to kind of take that further, I think.
It's a question.
No, I'm just saying, do you
Yes, I agree. I agree with you. No, I'm sorry.
It can be like that with humor.
don't worry, Flavia. It's okay.
Well, I do have a question. So this year at the UK Sports Dentistry Association, our topic is on the para athlete. And a lot of us don't have any experience really in the UK of working with para athletes, but this is something that you're quite passionate about, Flavia. Can you give us a little bit of a background into the work that you've done with para athletes, and how have you noticed anything that makes them need different approach when it comes to sports dentistry compared to the able-bodied athlete?
We are delighted to have IASMeD as a sponsor for the Sports Dentistry podcast. Are you looking for a water bottle that's built to keep up with your active lifestyle? Look no further than IASMeD, the totally leak-proof water bottles with triple lock technology to prevent spills no matter where you're headed. With a simple one-touch opening mechanism, you can sip on the go without hassle. Plus, Ionite's sleek modern designs are not only functional but can be personalised just for you. Made from high quality steel, these bottles are easy to clean and best of all, they're sustainable. From 320ml to 1200ml, Ionite has the perfect size for you, whether you're just out for a jog or going on a long hike. And it doesn't stop at water bottles. Ionite also has travel mugs and flasks to keep your drinks just right wherever you are. Ionite have officially licensed water bottles for the NBA, NFL, MotoGP and British and Irish Lions, so you know you're getting the best. I have been using the bottles for a long time now and cannot recommend them highly enough. So head over to www.ionite.co.uk to get your hands on the best bottles in the business, bar none. Now back to the pod.
It's difficult to answer for me because I treat the para athletes like the normal athletes, and I approach in the same way, exactly in the same way, and I not notice and I not do something different between normal and para, and I think this is my power to work with this kind of athletes, because also now I work with people with this handicap. I work exactly like there was normal, and they appreciate it a lot my way of job, and so it's difficult to me to explain which is the difference, because I not notice different in my way of operate, in my way to treat or to have protocol. I have the same protocol for athletes or for not normal athletes, but
And have you noticed different challenges? We had Lisa on the podcast earlier this year, and she did some research into the power athletes, and she brought up some of the interesting findings that she found. She found that, for example, one of the athletes wasn't able to compete because their aide had tooth issues. So it wasn't just the athletes. Some athletes in some sports would maybe have an aide, or other athletes found it very difficult to use public transport to get to the dentist. Is there anything that you've noticed that adds more of a challenge to the power athlete when they're looking after their oral health?
not. But I think I not noticed because I work with national team in Italy, and I work with my athletes, and so my athletes have
Have a dentist.
it's easier for me to reach, and I know it, and yeah, I understand there is some difficult for the family, some difficult to have, but I'm not understand very well which kind of difficult or which kind of different they have between the para athletes and athletes. But also because I work in the swimming pool, and it's easier for me, because in the swimming pool they have no prosthesis, no chair, nothing. In this day I work with people, with a colleague of tennis, of wheelchair basket. I think I notice more difficult for there to work with athletes, because they need wheelchair, they need different gymnasium, different stuff, and probably if I work with different sports, I can notice more what you tell me.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But the swimming pool, just give to the water and that's it. It's easier.
Yeah. And you're in a beautiful part of Italy at the moment, in Tuscany. Can you just let us know what you're doing there at the moment, apart from enjoying yourself?
I teach swimming to people who have disability, and it become become with handicap after an injuries during job. And so we try to introduce to the sport. I teach swimming, but I have a colleague for tennis, for basket, for archway, yes, and gun and scherma, griffa. With I cannot understand. I cannot remember in English, but we have 8 different sport, and all people come in this campus, try all the sport, and then if they want, they can become athletes.
Oh, very nice. And how often do you do that?
For me, it's the third time, and they organize in Tuscany. They organize twice every year, one in winter, one in summer. In winter for skiing for sure, and in summer with different sport. And every people become disabled for job can come and can try sport. And this is organized for the CHIP, for the Italian Committee of Paralympic Athletes. So it's very good because CHIP pay all for the athletes, for the people.
Yeah, it's great. And it's interesting. It's because it's a good way as well to increase your athlete base, isn't it? As well to look, if you're looking to succeed, you're trying to increase your athlete base. The more athletes you have involved, the more likely you're going to get some superstars out of that. With what sports? So, like you do a lot of swimming and stuff. Is there any particular sports that you go and watch, or do you actually just like being involved? Like, is there any sporting events coming up that you're looking forward to?
People can involve in every sport. I make try swimming, but
no. Is there a sport like outside of your work? Is there a sport that you would particularly like to watch, or that you go watch, or are you just heavily involved with the sports that you coach?
no, I don't understand what you tell
Do you like
me.
to
What you
do you like to watch any other sports, or do you like, is it just swimming that you only watch and you only do?
No,
Does anything else you watch?
I just teach swimming. I cannot see the other people teaching because we are having contemporary. So I would like to see other people, and I would like to try other sport with people, but I cannot do it because I spent all my day in the swimming pool teaching swimming.
Well, you
It's
can
very
go.
bad.
You can go and try the archery. You can go and.
I would like to, but I have no time because I have to teach swimming. But tomorrow, they tell me we're going to do sitting volley all together. So I try sitting volley tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I don't think it's very nice because I'm very bad in volleyball. But sitting, probably I could be better.
So you're from Siena,
Yeah.
and there's a big. You were telling me there's a big festival coming up with the horses.
It's not a festival. It's not
Well,
a
what is it?
festival. It's a. It's not a festival. Palio, it's the most important event in Siena. Is our life. It's an horse races, but it's a medieval historical event.
Yeah, so that's the day after the conference, and
Yeah.
this is something that happens. So this is my ignorance of Italian. So there's what's is it Venice where they like have 4 teams that just beat each other up with the ball? What's that competition?
It's a horse race. So
No,
the first
what city has it where they have the 4 teams and there's a ball, but they're allowed to like punch each other?
Florence. Yeah.
That's
No.
Florence.
This is this is happens the day after the conference in Naples. It's in Florence. It's a calcio fiorentino. It's like a Florence soccer, football
Yes.
from Florence, and there are a lot of people fight each other with a big ball, very very heavy, and they fight, and I don't know exactly what's happened, but I never been there, and it's come from Florence, so they can. do it what I want.
So in Siena, they stick to horses instead of fight.
Yeah, but Siena and Florence, they have not good relationship in the around the history, not.
Okay. Interesting.
I went to a wedding in Italy, in Florence, and it was the middle of the summer, and it was 40 something degrees, and I loved it, which was great. But where the wedding was, it was out in, you had to travel out with the city, and it was a kind of little town, and it was in a churchyard, and there was no wind, and it was baking hot, and there was no fans. It was just sitting there. My daughter was sitting next to me, sweating. She had to have an umbrella up, because normally we have umbrellas for rain, but for doing it for sunshine, it was a little bit different. But it was a fantastic place. I mean, it's a really nice, it's Italy is one of these places where I've only ever been to Rome for the Six Nations. So my idea of having all these thousands of Scottish people around me and being in Italy was very, very nice. But actually being in the rural community and being with local Italians, they love children. Like, they love, children, they love saying hi and whatever. It was very, very nice. And like the older people, they just like to, even though the communication wasn't there, they were always like engaged as to why you're here, why you're in our little town, what are you up to? And we would just say wedding, and they would just nod. And like, my Italian is not very good, so it's non-existent, my Italian. So, but the people are very nice and friendly, the Italians. I like the Italians. They're very nice.
Very good. Thank you.
What's next after the conference in Naples then? So for the sports dentistry, it's a sports dentistry association that's running the conference, is it? It's a joint. Is the association is joint sports medicine and sports dentistry? Is it?
Yeah, sport and medicine. Dentist, sport medicine and dentistry. Yes, together.
And then what is the plan for after the conference? Do you meet every year? Do you meet will you have a conference next year? Do you do anything in between? Give us a little bit of an idea of how the association works from year on year.
The idea is one conference every year. But in the middle, I don't think not so much, because there are a lot of events around the world, and it's difficult to make more things during the years.
And so do you meet up online, or is it just very much focused about having this one in-person event every year?
Yes, we have some meeting online with people into the society to update or to speak about also the conference we will do in the next year, because the conference is become from what happens in the last year for sure. But yes, more or less it's one event, one conference every year, and some closed meeting on closed conference when we need to speak about something special, not more of this. But the next step is the environment, because we have to contrast the pollution. This is the next step.
Through sports dentistry?
Yeah, also, yes. I have a new project evolving in Italy.
Umar, I don't know if you've met Flavia, but every time you meet her, she has a new project.
So my new project is to contrast the pollution in the dentist and in the sports. Plastic pollution, to avoid plastic pollution in the sports, and then to avoid plastic pollution in dentist.
And what sort of things, like how will you approach that, or what's like how can you make an impact?
Oh,
because it's not something that obviously we're quite conscious about it, and but there's still in dentistry quite a lot of single-use items. Like every time we
have to change our way to work.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to change something. We have to change our way of work. We have to change material. We have to look and research for new material or old material, because we have the the glass, we have the coconut wood, we have the canapa. We have a lot of material we can use to substitution to substance the plastic. We have just to change our mind, we change our way of work every day, and it's possible. Just to, we want to change our life, we have to change something, but it's very important.
Yeah, there's definitely a big focus on that at the moment, and you see a lot more people and companies getting into plastic-free oral health products like toothpastes and things like this they're trying to look at reducing the amount of plastic waste for people doing their normal hygiene, whether that's with toothbrushes or whether that's with toothpaste tubes in different ways. So it seems to be a little bit of a movement heading in that direction.
I not see the change enough, but I think we have to do, because it's too late to not do anything. I just change, for example, my toothpaste, because I prefer a solid toothpaste without plastic, because it's more. I avoid a lot of pollution with this. I change my, I don't know, cream soap and all I use. I try to avoid the mono use. Mono use
Yeah,
is,
single use.
yes.
Yeah, mono use. Yeah.
And I change my t-shirt without plastic, and it's difficult, yes, but
Yeah.
we can do it, and we have to do it also for our athletes, because new research, I have a new publication, I think it's going to publish in July, research about which is the impact of plastic during training.
Okay.
We have just problem with our athletes with if they have a lot of plastic in their body, like problem of breathing, problem of recovery.
A lot of plastic in their body, just not like them using like lots of plastic bottles.
Yeah, because if they use a lot of plastic, they have more plastic in the body for sure.
Okay.
And they have problem for breathing, problem of endocrinology, like problem of growth, problem of recovery after injury or recovery after training. And so you have to look at this. This could a big problem for a coach like me, for example.
That's
there's definitely a big thing on microplastics at the minute, and in terms of what you should be using, what you shouldn't be using. You shouldn't reheat plastic. And I also changed a lot of my stuff, certainly things that we do here after my wife's diagnosis last year, because they're saying a lot of bowel related issues is actually to do with microplastics. So, but I think it does take, we say this a lot, it takes something bad to happen, or something, for something to change, something bad needs to kind of happen, or people need to start raising awareness about this sort of thing. And because there's plastic everywhere you go, you look at all these animals and sea life, getting caught up in all this stuff as well. I know we're digressing from sports dentistry, but it's very much, you see a lot of organizations and athletes using plastic. So it's something that we think we should definitely look at, and we could encourage. I'm a big advocate of that as well, having gone through something in our family. So I do think it's something that we can change, and I do think that there's a lot of unnecessary waste in dentistry, a lot of single-use stuff, a lot of packaging. It's just ridiculous, to be honest with you. And the amount of packaging, that's just one surgery in one practice in one part of Edinburgh, and we're not talking about the rest of the world, But you're right. I think you're doing something good there, and it's for the greater good. You're doing something for the greater good, Flavia.
Yes, but we have to do it because we are doctors, so we are more responsibility to the people, to the world.
And Annie, do you think if you're successful at doing it, that Italy will be able to qualify for the next Soccer World Cup?
I cannot understand your. Did something go wrong?
I'm sure that was a big shock for Italy not to qualify.
I don't care about soccer. You know, it's not a sport for me. It's not a game. It's not so. Yes, we talk about sports. Football is not a sport for me. It's
Yeah. Although when I go to Napoli, I will go around to see Diego Maradona's shrine.
yeah. Diego Maradona was a big
Special,
athlete.
yeah.
It's special athletes, but now there are not. It's not a sport in Italy. I think it's not. Soccer is not a sport for me. It's just a
Yeah.
game. Someone look. I don't know why.
Okay, so that means you'll not be watching the Football World Cup then. Okay, that's
No.
fair enough. Not just because Italy are not going to be in it. No, that's fair.
Well, Flavia, it's been great having you on, and thanks so much for giving up your time. We were very jealous. I know we were meant to record this 2 days ago. We were very jealous of your photograph of being on the beach with alcohol spritz, watching a lovely sunset while it was raining all day here on Sunday. So, but thanks very much for taking time out of your busy week of coaching to come on to the podcast.
Thank you to you to invite me again, and see you soon.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you very much, Flavia.
I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll bring the pineapple for the pizza because I'm not sure.
No.
Yeah. Great. Thanks very much, Flavia. We can chat and see.
Thanks, Flavia.
Bye. Thank you.
Cheers, bye.